Did you have a chance to go and look at the tracker that I posted in the thing last night?
I did not. I was kind of
Okay.
like
And
looking
that's
at it a
okay.
little when you had it up, but I did not.
Yeah, that's okay. I would suggest, I mean, this is going to be completely new for you because you've never done anything like this before. So it's going to be completely new for you. I will also give you I did like a little video on the tracker itself a few months back. And I'll just give you like the replay video. So anybody that's on the call too, I will post that in the Get group today too. Oh, who's that? Ah, okay. So Jamie is not going to be able to get on this morning. Um, but I will post the video, then you can kind of watch, like go through it and watch it too. Um, and we'll see too. I might even have like a pop-up meeting if I feel like people need it this week, and maybe we'll like go through each section of it. But this is primarily going to be um like a couple of boxes in there, and then like the rest of the stuff you can kind of work on throughout the day, if you will. So here I'm going to go ahead and share my screen here. Oh, come on. I put a new battery in my mouse, and that, but I need to get, I don't have a, oh my gosh, I don't have a mouse pad out here, and I think I'm going to need to get one or go find one in the house. All right, let's see here. All right, so, all right, so good morning. This is one of those things though that like even though it stinks to get up in the morning, once you kind of start doing it, it becomes a routine.
Oh,
And
I'm Tucker gets insulin at 6 o'clock every day, so
yeah,
I'm
so
on point
you're
now.
up. Well, that's awesome because then you have a routine where I always feel like in the summer, I get completely out of my routine because we don't really always have to get up for something. I'm usually always the first one up in the house, but the similar practice, I've kind of taken a couple of practices that I did and put them together. And I used to get up at 5 o'clock every single morning just to do this practice. And I like need to get myself, but not necessarily five, but I figure if I can get up at least at 6. um, it used to be more of like getting the kids ready, get it, you know what I mean? So it was like I needed to do it before the kids got up and stuff like that. So I don't have to worry about stuff like that so much anymore. You do though. Like
It's
you
the dogs. The dogs make sure that I'm up.
Well, and luckily my dogs, like as soon as Graydon gets up, because their crate is right down by his door. So the minute he gets up for work in the morning, they want to get up even if I'm up. Because sometimes I'm like, oh, they're still sleeping. So I'll just go and turn on the news and like chill for myself for a minute. But um once you kind of get up and get going and have the habit of having something specific to do, it feels so good that you can get like this and done and like off your plate for the day. I just feel like it just gives you so much more momentum for the day, and you just feel like you've been super productive and it's only 7:30 in the morning. Do you know what I mean? So,
Well, and what I have learned since I stopped working is that a body in motion tends to stay in motion. Like once I sit down, I'm done.
right.
Like,
Mhm.
like if I keep going, I keep going.
Yeah.
But the minute I'm like, oh, I'm just going to sit down for a few minutes here, well, then I find like ER on TV or something,
Right.
and
And
then I'm like, I
yeah.
am done.
And even like trying to, like, if you're a person that's trying to fit in like an exercise routine or something like this can kind of get you moving into the motion of like, okay, I'm going to get up, I'm going to do these couple of tasks, and then I'm going on my walk. You know what I mean?
Right.
Like I used to have that where I did this, and that at a certain time I would go and walk every morning, like at 7, like from 7 to 7:30. I would go out and walk for 30 minutes. And it's like, I just need to do that. Daryl and I've done a little bit of that kind of the last few weeks ever since my mom passed away. Obviously, we always have these intentions of doing things like
Right.
that in the summer, and then all the stuff happens. So it's like we've been trying, but then Daryl likes to sleep in, so it's a little struggle for him sometimes. So, but okay, so let's go here. I gotta It ever wants me to let me turn to the next screen. Okay, so this is the document that you'll be working from. So you're basically going to want to fill in the bubble in each day for each section. So it's not like you necessarily, and like I said, I'll give you the video so you can go over this in depth, but we're going to work on the first thing we're going to work on is 5 connections in relationship building. So it's not that you have to send birthday messages, engage in stories, intentional comments, voice clips. It's not like you have to do all of that. You have to like pick one thing or a couple of those things and go for it. So the basic concept behind this is like what we were talking about last night is you're getting onto people's profiles and stories or whatever, and you're doing connections with them. So they're going to pop up into your feed more, stuff like that. So so that's what we're going to do for the first 5 minutes or so. And then a couple of the mornings too, it might be where we work on like some follow-ups during that time. So then the next box is like follow-ups, which means like I'm supposed to check in with somebody on Tuesday this week, or they wanted to look at their calendar before I got back to them. They got their order last week. Let's see if they've got it out of the box and they're using it. So all of that kind of stuff that we should be doing. And sometimes we kind of just push that stuff off to the side and really don't do our follow-ups. So this prompts you to make sure you're trying to do that, okay? And then these other boxes, the third box is kind of what we're working on this morning too, is we're going to post a daily post every day. And it's something that's going to cause like interaction with us. There's open-ended questions, so people have to actually just respond instead of like liking the post. You always want to give somebody something like a call to action, if you will. So that's kind of the one that we're going to be really focusing on too in the mornings is kind of the connections part and then this daily posting. And then
do you do that? Do you do the same post on your, I think you do it on the same post on your personal and your VIP?
so usually what I try to do, and that's what I was going to say, is you can use these posts, these to cross post tasks below. So then I might post something on my personal page, but then I might twist it around a little bit and post it on my VIP page. And then I might, like if I had pictures in there, then I might take those pictures and then I might put them up in my stories. Definitely haven't been very like doing this very good right lately. I haven't. So, but that's kind of the idea. It's like working smarter, not harder. Okay. Like take the content that you've got, move it around and make it work in all those different places. So you're not trying to come up with 3 or 4 things to post every single day. Okay. Does that make sense? Like, so yeah. And then, so then that's where I'm talking about like cross post with the tasks below. Like you could, post it again in your, VIP page. You could create a reel from it, like if you took some pictures, different things like that. And then I personally think the bottom box is like our absolute number one thing of the day is posting like affirmations. And so some people will keep a notebook of these, write out 5 to 10 things that, either a goal or something that you want, like a dream that you want, but you're writing it as if it already happened. So like, this is just an example. Like say I wanted to write a book. I could write, I am a New York Times bestseller. And if I just keep writing that over and over again, or like something simple for like our business, I sell $5,000 a month. Just something out there. You keep writing that, you're training your brain and you're going to write the same 5 to 10 things every single day. It's not like you have to come up with 5 new ones every day. You're going to write that because you're training your brain. Okay. Even simple stuff like if you want to work on in your life and say like, I have a healthy and loving relationship. Like if you want to make sure that your marriage is on straight, this kind of stuff can work like in so many different ways. So I do my 10, but I have a couple that are more personal. I have a couple that are more like, I don't even know what the word you would call it for, but kind of more like about my health and maybe even my home. Like I keep an organized home, like because I need to always work on that. That's just something I always I need to do. And then like, then the rest of them might be completely about my business. You know, like I'll say I am a senior director with Pampered Chef because that's what the next level I'm working on. So I write it as if it's already happened. Okay.
And they just stay the same until they happen, or
Yep. And then you can keep, you know, sometimes like having an exceptional relationship, like with my husband, I might work on that forever. So that
right.
might be just stay there. But like specific goals like that, yes. Then once I hit senior director, I might change that to, you know, executive director, you know, like that's kind of what you do. So yeah, like one of the ones I had for a really long time was um I am debt free. Like that was when I was working really hard to pay off all my credit cards. And so like now that one's not on my list because we're debt free that way. The only thing that we really have is our mortgage. So that was like a really big goal of mine before Daryl and I got married was to create was to pay my credit card debt off. So, you know, so stuff like, does that make sense? Like coming up with different things like that. So that's kind of how that works. You're going to fill in the bubbles each day. You might not fill them in all every day. I tell the girls that when they post them, when the girls that are doing this consistently, I tell them it's not going to look perfect. This thing is necessarily, the bubbles aren't going to be all filled in, but that's okay. We don't stop and wait till next week. We just keep going. If we have a bad day, we have a bad day. None of us are perfect. So don't put those, you know, bad thoughts, don't put yourself down, just have positive thoughts, and we're just going to start better again the next day. And then you are going to get better at this every single day. And these posts and stuff, they're not going to take as long. Okay. So the first, we're going to take 5 minutes, and 5 minutes seems like an eternity. It does when you're doing this. We're going to take 5 minutes and connect with 5 people on a platform. You also want to just pick one platform. I think most of us are consistently working on Facebook. I know for me, in a couple of months when I get back better doing this again, I'm going to try to start working on my Instagram stuff more because I don't connect with that
Yeah.
on
I
Insta.
like don't understand. Yeah.
Yeah,
It's
that's something that maybe we can all like, I'll talk to the director team and that's maybe something we can work on. So I'm going to go ahead and set the timer. Um, we're going to do this a little not quite as intense today because I wanted to kind of explain things, but we're going to take the next 5 minutes and I'm going to set a timer for us. And this, I'll kind of talk you a little bit through it as we're walking or as we're doing this too. Um, and give you some tips if you're like struggling, it's okay. Just ask me like if you have a question and I'll kind of try to walk you through it. I know that sounds weird because you're just posting on people's stories, but that's literally what you're doing is just trying to connect with people. Try to make sure when you respond to somebody, say more than like 4 or 5 words, or like say like at least 4 or 5 words. Okay, so just start going through and maybe people you haven't connected with as much. So start looking on your Facebook wall. I've got the timer going. So
so when you're saying stories, so stories or feed, or
feed.
does it not matter?
Well, you can do stories too. If you see something that they post up on a story, you can comment on it to them. That'll go right into their direct inbox, you know, their direct
Okay.
messages. I'm going to just play a little music to kind of set the tone a little bit. I'm going to work on mine too while you're doing this. And just, you know, remember that you don't necessarily have to say big, huge things. It might just be simply going in and connecting with all the people that have Facebook birthdays on your Facebook thing today. Go in and wish them a happy birthday. You're getting your algorithms in with those people. So Facebook starts recognizing that you're not just talking to your Pampered Chef friends or like for you, Kim, your
Hey,
mom club friends. Yeah.
so can I tell you a funny thing about that is I don't do people's birthdays because I think somebody's going to feel bad because if I forget theirs, they'll be like, well, she didn't wish me a happy birthday.
That's that's the story you're telling yourself. Stress over stuff like that. You're telling yourself a story that if I can't give everybody a birthday post every day, then I shouldn't do it at all. You know what I mean? Don't
Yeah.
think that. We're all human. We miss birthdays. And if you're struggling with like scrolling through your feed, you can even go over to the side if you're working on a if you're working on your computer and like just click on friends and maybe just start with today you're going to pick a few people that have the last name that start with an A that you maybe haven't talked to for a while. And just open it up and see if they've posted lately and then comment on that post. You probably want to make sure that you're commenting on something that's been posted in the last few days, not like three
Right.
weeks ago. You got about 1 minute left on that. And if you didn't get to 5 people, that's okay. You're working on it. Just remember, this is just going to kind of help bring up your algorithms.
And then these people are going to start showing up. And like the other day, someone was like, so and so was tagged. And I'm like, I have absolutely no idea who that person is. And I'm like, I do not know where they are my friend from.
Mhm. I know. And sometimes I'll have to go in sometimes, especially like with me, like customers friending me, like
Yeah.
from parties and stuff all these years, this is newer for you. I'll be like, do I know this person or somebody like that I don't know well? And then their name changed. And you're like, who is this? Then I'll go
Yeah.
and see who they're friends with. And I'm like, oh, that's right. That person. That's why.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay, we're going to stop there.
Okay.
Um, then, okay, this is what we're going to go to next. Okay. So now we're going to go to the posting part. Okay. So this is where we're going to write a post. And this is where we always talk about like, we just need to get a post written and we need to put it out there. We don't need to have ultimate perfection on it. We don't need to sit and have all this drama with writing it. We're just going to make a post. We need to get something out there that's going to interact with our customers and friends and people that might not be customers out in social media. So we're always going to start with something that's going to be like a hook. So today it's going to be, I wish someone had told me. Okay. So that's what your basic thing that's you can write it however you want to write it. Like you can write it in all capital letters that'll maybe catch people's attention. You can just write it and go like dot dot dot. However you want to do it is how you want to do it. One thing I would suggest is I would suggest that you do not type in the platform that you're typing in. So don't automatically start typing this in a post on Facebook. Maybe open up a Google Doc or write it in a notebook. You should have probably something that you're working off of that is content. So like have a content for August, a content for September. Then you can keep all those things. You can write ahead that way too. Like you're like, oh, tomorrow I could post this and you might already have something written. So content creation isn't like I made this 5 minutes ago. You can have stuff done ahead of time and then pull from it later. So if you're working from a document, it's a little bit easier to like go ahead that way. And sometimes too, I think it helps with like you can have spelling and all that stuff done. So you're going to write this post and then you can do something like Bet you didn't know this. I made this mistake once. But these are just like options. Three things that you need to know that I want to change because I wish someone, had told me this. I was wrong about, I wish someone had told me. So that kind of like describe that problem. Um, it can be even as simple as I wish someone had told me that it's so much easier to grate cheese when it's cold. It doesn't clump on the grater, blah, 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 blah. Since I've started doing where I put it in the freezer for 5 minutes before I grate the cheese, I just can't believe the difference in how easy it is. You know what I mean? Like, so that's like just kind of like an example. It can be, doesn't have to be about Pampered Chef products either. That's one thing. You don't want everything to be about Pampered Chef when you're posting these
Right.
posts. You want them to be about 80% about you and about 20% about your business and products during the week. Okay. Um, so talk about wish you would have done. And then you're gonna engage, share. You can say something like, like you can end it with something like, what's a tip that you wish someone would have told you, just to get them to comment back. And then you always want to post some kind of a picture. You don't want to use something that's already in, like, you don't really necessarily want to use GIFs for this. You don't necessarily want to use like going in and searching like a cheese grater, like, or something. You want like you, and it can necessarily doesn't even have to be like what specifically we're talking about, just a picture of you. I'm sure like you've seen that, Kim, where it's just like a picture of me sitting on the couch and I'm smiling or something. But that's what brings interactions. People see that and they're like, oh, Kim posted something. Okay. So you want that authenticity of it being you and you are talking to your audience. Okay. So I'm going to go ahead. We're going to run a few minutes over. I knew that was going to happen. So we're going to take 10 minutes for you to write the post. And obviously you might not necessarily have a picture right this second. So you can post that.
So, but the only thing you're actually putting on the post is I wish someone had told me and the picture.
No, you're writing. I wish someone had told me that if I put my cheese and, like I can put that and then like, I wish someone had told me. And then what do you wish someone would have told you?
Oh, okay.
Okay. And then you're going to write that. And then people are going to be like, oh my gosh, I wish someone would have told me that blah, blah, blah. You know what I mean? That I, I can't even think of something right now. That if I would have paid an extra mortgage payment in a year, every year on my mortgage, that it would take 7 years off of my loan, stuff like, something like people will start commenting back to you about little, and it might be the littlest thing, but it's just, you're getting that interaction on your page. And then all of those people that are commenting on your stuff, you're probably going to start seeing them more in your posts or on your page as well.
Right.
Okay. So go ahead and start and don't make a lot of drama about it. Just try to put something out there. You're not going to be great at this in the beginning, but by the end of the week, you'll be better at it. Or next week when you get back from vacation and you do this, you start doing this. Okay. So go ahead and
Yeah.
start. We're going to go a little over, guys. Sorry. Ask me questions if you need to, too. You always, that call to action is encouraging your audience to share their thoughts with you. And then it just creates um, that algorithm booster on Facebook. And then Facebook starts recognizing, oh, these people genuinely want to connect with you. Therefore, we're going to start showing them more to you as well. So that's what like the algorithm thinks. It even says in there something about, tagging a friend. Like if somebody specifically told you, this thing, I wish someone told me, or you can even change it to, I'm glad someone told me, blah, blah, blah. It's just kind of like to get that idea where it might catch somebody's attention.
Okay. Thinking way too hard. Like, why can't I
No,
come
this
up
is
with
what we
something?
do. We make it drama. And this is what I'm talking about. When I was doing this practice, in a call kind of similar to this, oh my gosh, the first like 2 or 3 days were like, what the hell? And it was just like, she would tell you, make the damn post. And it's like, don't think so hard about it. It doesn't have to be, super dramatic. And the nice thing is that when we get through this too, I have like a document where you can go ahead and you can work on these ahead of time. That's where I'm saying like keeping a document where you're working on content. And I have all these prompts for like 30 days. And then you can look at them and then make your prompt. And the cool thing about these is that 30 days from now, you can start back over at the beginning again. And you might be back at, I wish someone had told me. And that's okay. You can just do it about something different the next time. 30 days ago, somebody's not going to remember. Or you might start feeling comfortable enough to start kind of coming up with your own hook, or something may have happened in your business or in your life that you could talk about then. So you can go ahead and create content in advance. So you're not stressing about it every morning.
So, like, I had one thing that came to my mind, and I'm like, so it was wipe till it's white.
Wipe till it's white.
Yeah.
Wipe what till it's white? A baby's butt? No, I'm just kidding.
Or your own butt. And I'm like,
Uh-huh.
but that's like, that's gross. And I
Yeah,
want to
you
put
don't
that
have to,
out
yeah, I
there.
mean, think of like you've got a elementary school kiddo. What's something that you could, it doesn't, like I said, it doesn't have to be about your business. It can be, do you have something that's maybe come up about like going back to school, like getting the kids ready for back to school? Everybody's posting about stuff like that right now. Hi. Caleb likes the crown.
Yeah. Okay. I'm almost done. Just a few more minutes. Be careful, it's Tucker.
I got 4 minutes.
Um,
So
yeah. Um, okay. I'm going to do,
people get really excited about things too that have like numbers in them. Like I said, 3 things you need to know if you want to change, or 5 ways to prep meals, or 4 budget-friendly meals, or the top 5 things. You know what I mean? Like, so
yeah.
you can do it like that. Sometimes those are like catchy to people too.
Okay.
Trying to just look at something else I was going to say about that.
Okay.
Did you do it?
I did.
Okay. You want to share it? You don't have to, but you want to?
Yeah. I said I wish someone had told me sooner to not overthink everything.
And then just say, like you're going to want to say something like, oh, it just drives me nuts how much time I waste
Right.
overthinking things. What, and then you could say, sometimes I just need to do it. What suggestions
Right.
do you guys have on this? Like, give them a call, a reason to respond to that post. And then, I mean,
Yep.
you can just use some kind of a picture with it. You know what I mean? Just a picture of you. I mean, it doesn't even
Yeah.
have to be like where you're making a gesture or anything, just a picture of yourself, and just go for it. You know what I mean? And just post
Yeah.
it. Just make the damn post. You know what
Yeah.
I mean? So that's the thing I struggle with the most, is that like I want to get up and I want to do this in the morning, but then like, oh shoot, I need a picture and I look like this right now. Like,
Right.
so that's another thing too. It's like when you're feeling like you have a good day, take a bunch of selfies. I know that sounds weird, but like then you have that content available to you on your phone anytime. Um, even you've probably seen some of the girls that have had like pictures like where they've been going like this or something. And like then maybe like the deep covered baker is sitting here or something like that. So that's the stuff in the marketing kitchen that's going to be available to you later this month. And there's going to be some trainings on that where we can like make really cool pictures with that app and stuff like that. So um you can make things a little bit fancier and then you can go ahead and play with stuff. Do you know what I mean? If you've got like one pose. So yeah, but like taking some pictures in advance, it doesn't have to be something always PC related though. Like I said, just a selfie of yourself or um I know it sounds weird, but like it catches their eye more when it's you. You know what I mean? When they're seeing you. So instead of just one that's already out there on the internet and then you just pulled it from stock photos, you know what I mean? That doesn't catch people's eyes. And I don't think even I mean, like in the algorithms, I don't think Facebook appreciates that either. I think they're like, oh, that's a stock photo and it won't give it as much view either.
Right.
Okay. All right. So, like I said, get that typed up and get that posted. And did you have any questions?
Well, so I did do it just now, but just did it instead of the picture of me with the colored background, and I already
Okay.
have a comment. I have a comment
See?
already. So yeah.
Isn't that crazy? It is crazy. Like I said, it's like always giving that call to action for them to prompt them to respond to you. It's amazing. And you will probably be shocked at the people that actually comment on these. Because it might be somebody that you haven't seen a post from them in months. You know what I mean? It's just the weirdest thing how it does it. And it just really does boost your visibility in the platform. So, and that's where I was saying, like, I'm not very good on Instagram. So eventually I need to move and start like focusing on that too. But you're primarily going to be probably doing things in Facebook right now, since you're
Yeah.
started. So then just stick with Facebook. That's good. You can all, we've got time. This is not, like Brandy said on the call last night, the internet and social media stuff changes on a daily. It's like there's always something new they're working on and stuff. So we just always have to try to just keep doing what we're doing to increase our algorithms. So, all right, was that painful?
No.
No, that's pretty easy, isn't it? And it's nice to have a buddy here with you to talk you through it, right?
Yeah.
And like I said, it gets easier though, and then you don't feel like, you need to be handheld. I did this for 30 days with the coach that I did this with. 30 days every single morning for 30 days. So, um, and weekends, we're not doing it on the weekends. Like that's your practice time to try to do 2 posts on the weekend yourself. So that's like, we'll do Monday through Friday. We'll do it this week. We'll see how we do. If everybody can't jump on in the mornings, um, I might, I don't know, we're just gonna have to see how the week goes. And then maybe I will do it with you guys for the rest of the month. I know
Well,
you're
I'm
gone, but
leaving. Caleb and I are leaving town on Thursday, so I could probably do
yeah,
tomorrow. And then oh, is today only Monday? Today's
it's
only
only
Monday.
Monday. I'm gonna stop sharing, guys, and
Yeah,
I'm gonna stop
today's
recording.
yeah, today's only Monday. So I could probably do